teams ranked number 2 and 3 in the country tonight against number 3 Virginia, and their last regular season game at number 2 Florida State.
Virginia setting the pace.
Their top forwards and attacking midfielders that have scored. They've gotten 11 goals from defenders this year.
You may gain some mobility on that back line to try to get to some of these crosses. You do.
Leading the ACC in points right now with 10 goals and 8 assists. She also led the ACC in scoring last year as a sophomore, while she tied with her teammate Morgan Bryan. They shared the ACC scoring lead last year. She had 20 goals last season.
Excellent ball played by DeBree. Another great ball by Tony Payne. Kelly Cobb couldn't quite get a foot on it. Boston College in between. Duke would do well to get a result here tonight and put themselves in a really decent position at that point of qualifying. This is the same song, different verse for Duke. Very, though it goes to DeBree. Miller. Doria doing a nice job of shielding the ball away from Colaprico on that one. Distributes to DeBree, and then over the top they go again. Kelly Cobb on sides, all by herself. Virginia starting to catch up. Tony Payne today.
I think she leads the ACC as well.
That one headed back to Proctor, sliding on by goes Latsko. So dialed up pressure now for Virginia. Certainly momentum on the side of the Cavaliers. Christina Gibbons nursing an injury. Doniak. DeBree knocks that one away. Manages, though, to only give up a throw-in.
Run of play.
Coach Steve Swanson saying they've done a much better job here on set pieces, but this is live action we're looking at right now, and Schuyler DeBree making sure to take care of that opportunity. It'll be a corner kick, though, and so we...
And a deadlock in the second half there.
Doniak and DeBree fighting for it. DeBree winning that battle, but it results in a throw-in. See Dorsey again for the Blue Devils, and Doniak for the Cavaliers. Good step up there by DeBree. Right-footed cross. Headed high into the air and just outside the 18-yard box. Run onto by DeBree, and then, yes, there's the foul call. Called rather surprisingly, I must say. DeBree, though, able to get around Latsko. Freshman defender, fancy footwork there, looking for some help. She finds it.
Kraus, they've penciled into that position this year, and she's certainly not disappointed with the impact she's had early in the year, although she's not yet become a Maya Hayes, who was a great player for Penn State over her 4 years.
DeBree able to work her way through several defenders, and a great through ball. Kelly Cobb running onto it. Left.
Pretty disappointed with how they performed in part of the first half, and it really led to that explosion of 3 goals.
It to the Nittany Lions, and back they come the other way. DeBree, opportunity created. Rebecca Quinn, right-footed shot. She ties it at 2.
Great job by the Blue Devils. Recovery of the season from a feed off of Schuyler DeBree, one of the Duke freshmen. It's obvious there was room for freshmen to step in here, and they've certainly got the talent. It's a matter of getting the maturity and developing with the rest of their teammates.
Schuyler DeBree making a run out of the back, keeping that ball in bounds. And now
Nice. Oh.
Schuyler DeBree, number 19, number 15, Kara Wilson, senior Anna Hunt getting her first career start, number 25, and freshman Morgan Reed. In the midfield, fifth-year senior Gilda Doria. She's been a starter the last couple of weeks. Number 7, Katie Trees, one of those seniors getting the sixth start of her career, first of this season. See Doria trying to win that ball in the midfield so Duke can maintain possession. A little two-man game there with Schuyler DeBree. About Johnson in that first half. Not credited with any saves, as none of Duke's 11 shots technically on goal. Ashton Miller. Gilda Doria will track it down. Can she keep it in play and get something going? Back out top to DeBree, and they will rebuild here.
Shot by number 4, Ashton Miller.
Yet another big play by Ashton Miller in this contest. Road for 3 straight games following today's game when they get into ACC play next week. We appreciate you joining us, and we are underway now. The Blue Devils certainly trying to bounce back from what they considered a very disappointing defeat to Hofstra on Friday evening, and really a poor first half in that contest, and in the second half ended up generating quite a few chances but could not, as that first shot by the Blue Devils is slapped away. So a very accomplished young goalkeeper, and this LSU team very pleased to have her. They certainly would like to improve that aspect of their offensive attack and keeping people spread across, keep the defense on the move and looking for. And LSU plays it behind the Duke line, but nice work back there by Kara Wilson, as Duke now tries to build from the left side. Going for Dorsey coming down the left side, but nice defensive work by the Tigers. Shots here of Duke's 5 in the early going. Nice through ball that time by Rebecca Quinn, finding her defender, Schuyler DeBree, coming down the left side. DeBree on the cross, looking for a head. No head there of today's game. Duke's outshot the Tigers 5-0 so far, with a couple of good chances by Christina Gibbons earlier. Ashton Miller plays it ahead to defender Schuyler DeBree, knocked off the ball but then recovers, puts it in the middle to Tony Payne, but a nice step in that time by number Canadian team in a couple of tournaments and friendlies. One of our first games in getting called up to the Canadian team was against the United by Morgan Reed. She had number 7, Fernanda Pina, who just entered the match a moment ago off the bench, who had started 6 games already this year. Now for Duke, to 2 for LSU. Blue Devils started this year by losing their first 2 games and not scoring a single goal in either one when they played in the North Carolina Nike Classic against some pretty good competition, but then won 3 in a row before dropping those last 2. Gilda Doria in the middle of the field. She's got DeBree over here on this right side. There's Tony Payne. Dorsey, once again, a little give and go action with sophomore and junior years and off seasons. Emma Fletcher, number 10, being tracked by Her Canadian teammate Rebecca Quinn played it ahead to Summer Clark. Katie Colas trying to shield a defender and control the ball, and she does so. And see if Duke can get something built from the back here. Schuyler DeBree pushing forward. 10 minutes to go here in the first half of a scoreless game. That's Katie Trees, number 7. And Rebecca Quinn, number 5. Game at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech off to another great start. 8-0 so far and in the top 5 of all the polls. Blue Devils play it up to midfield. Sikora being challenged by a host of defenders, led by Schuyler DeBree making a move to the middle, number 19, the freshman outside, then back in, went low, and then tried to bring it back out to the front, but a nice save by Alfeld again. She's been strong in front of the net. You can see why New Zealand considers her one of the bright young prospects for their national team going forward. Works that box very well, and that time stopped.
And Gibbons has changed positions. Last year we saw her more on the outside back position, and Robbie Church coming off playing for the national team, he's put Gibbons right in the center to, I think, have a more...
The coaching staff has been working with Kara Wilson and trying to establish her as a center back for this defensive team, and she's someone who's played pretty well here to start the season. The Blue Devils have done a decent job.
Yeah, and Kara's a great player, and she's been in the midfield a lot, and so that shows that she's got some leadership in there, and can really control the pace of the game, and I think Robbie Church is looking for her to take those talents to the back line.
UAB trying to get something going, but there's Rebecca Quinn. Schuyler DeBree to get in the way of that attempt. Christina Gibbons wins that ball away and tries to play it through.
Difficult teams is to see where some of their weaknesses are, and you can certainly highlight goal scoring as a weakness right now, and so I think Blue Devils are addressing that, I'm sure, and going to work to improve that.
Here we go with Gibbons again. She's got Dorsey ahead of her and Kelly Cobb filling the left lane. She gets it over to Kelly Cobb. She turns and pops it toward the goal, and the keeper gets a hand on it, but it drops into...
For this Duke team, coming in as a freshman last year and making such a huge impact in every game. It's why he has her in the midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if you see her. I think she's definitely most comfortable in that defensive position, and certainly if Blue Devil leadership all over the field. We mentioned Natasha Nasi in the defensive line, but also you had Kay Kerr sitting in the middle, and you had Laura Weinberg sitting...
Use in that position as well.
And one of the reasons that Kim was so good in the air was because she was aggressive and really fought for it. It wasn't necessarily just because she was tall, but she really got up. And I haven't quite seen that feistiness in the Blue Devils. I think that's something that they need to work on, is just getting down and getting dirty and fighting for it. And I think that might be a...
Conference's Player of the Week on the defensive end this week.
Right. And on the other side of that, Blue Devils have been working with a couple different keepers in goal there. Allie Kirshner has been starting and playing most of the games for the Blue up when you're taking that corner kick, and that's with a freshman taking that, that's going to take time to develop as well.
I'm pretty sure if Gilda Doria gets in, she will handle some of those too, and she's a fifth-year player who has had a lot of experience as kind of the alternate, but could be quite interesting. Great soccer next weekend. 2 games on Friday night and 2 games on Sunday afternoon. Those contests will all be on ESPN3. Expected to be starters. Gilda was actually a captain of the team last year before the team found out that she was going to be out for the year with the injury. So to have her back, Cassie Peck is not back, but Gilda is back. Cassie out again for the rest.
There.
Maybe not quite as good a spacing as they had before.
Yeah, still working out the kinks a little bit.
Yeah. That's Danielle Duell and Schuyler DeBree pressuring the ball over there. Duell